On with us right now, it's a Sofa Beach session. We have Jayli Wolf, just put out Wild Whisper EP. Tremendous work, first of all.
Thank you.
I haven't heard something so raw from someone in such a long time. You didn't just open yourself up to, people listening, but your family's in there as well.
Yeah, it was such a healing project to write. I don't know if you know this, but I definitely wasn't planning to put these songs out at first when I was writing them. It was just for my own healing. And when I was listening back to the music and I was showing my aunt, actually, she just was like, this is a project. Like, you need to put this out. It's cohesive, and it just, like, do it. And so I started to, like, then really hone in on what I wanted the production to sound like. And I found this old recording of my dad when he used to call me a lot when he was drinking, and I would record him because I wanted him to hear how he sounded. But when I thought about putting it out, I was like, I really would like to put his voice in it. I didn't think he would let me, but I found this recording of him kind of saying, like, an apology to me. And it was definitely an emotional conversation where he admits that he doesn't have anyone and he's lonely. And I was like, he's not going to let me put this out there. So
Wow.
I showed him the track, and I was blown away because he found it healing for him too. And he was totally fine with me putting it out into the world. So
just to get into a little bit of the background, you're an Indigenous Canadian artist. Your father was a victim of something called the 60s scoop, which is known from. And can you tell people a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my song Child of the Government is about my dad, who was taken away as a baby by the Catholic Church and the Canadian government. It happened between the 1950s to the 1990s. It's still happening today, but this particular, what we're talking about, the 60s scoop, is that span. And so many children and babies were taken away from their mothers, and they were put into foster care, adopted out to non-Indigenous families. Some children were sold as far as Australia, New Zealand, and their adoption papers, some of them for my dad, his papers were actually changed so that it says that he's not Indigenous. So his culture was taken away from him. He didn't know his ethnicity growing up. That was all stolen from him. So I wrote a song about that, and the music video was, a story. I basically was just telling that story.
What was it like writing that song specifically?
That song actually came out very organically. So there was no writing or anything, like, physically. I just had a beat, like a drum pattern. And then all the lyrics just came out. I was dealing with a lot of anger at the time around that situation. My dad had been talking to me about the situation, and so it was on my mind. And when I sat down, all the lyrics just sort of came out in story form. And like I said, very, very cathartic for me.
You have Child of the Government ready for us as a performance, so let's have a listen. It's Jayli Wolf, Child of the Government, 102.1 The Edge.
His story beats inside me, and I share it with you. Yeah, he's a child of the government. Hey, yeah, he's a child of the government. Whoa, yeah, he's a child of the government. Stop the bloodline, lost his people, broken and cursed, wrapped them in evil. Smile for the priest now, God save the bank. No, this is a song about a child of the government. Cuts and bruises, drugs and alcoholic. I just saw my father and he fell down. Now he's empty, calling hands in ring. He's all in, toothless fighter, makes me cry. Yeah, he's a child of the government. My father's blood is mine. His story beats inside me, and now I share it here with you. Yeah, he's a child of the government. Yeah, he's a child of the government. Whoa, yeah, he's a child of the government. I won't wear a cross, I won't say his name. I won't kneel down in dirty water. I won't pray lies, and I've been baptized. What doesn't kill you makes you a monster.
I'm so interested in this aspect because we talk to so many artists,
Yeah.
and so many artists write. When you listen to the music, it sounds deep, but you'd be surprised how many bands I've talked to are just like, well, what's this song about? And they're like, I wrote it, like, you know, I made it up, or like I pretended to be this. And it's just, it's so cool to see someone start to blow up off of something so deep and so personal. But I imagine that's such a weird thing too, because you're fully exposed. This is your life
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
family, and it's in the open. What has that been like, doing this sort of stuff?
I think that overall it's been really beautiful. I think that I'm an actor as well, and
Yeah.
I pretend to be someone else quite often.
Yes.
And so with music, it's been, and my whole life, really, I've been pretending to be somebody else. And I've been doing a lot of things so that people like me or love me, or like, I feel like I haven't really been living a very authentic life until this year, I would say. And of course it's scary, but the more I get in touch with who I am, the better. The more I know what I want. Like, I think who I am is what I want. And I'm
Yeah.
discovering so much about happiness, like what truly makes me happy. And it's regardless of what society thinks about it or what my friend is going to say. So I think that it's been great having these interviews, just talking with you now. It's like I'm talking about true stuff. I'm talking about how I really feel. I'm talking about, like, I'm being authentic, and it feels good because it's something I don't really think I've done a whole lot in the past. I know I'm still living in some ways inauthentically. I'm not perfect, or I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it. And if I don't do it, I just feel in my gut this, like, I'm out of alignment and I'm not happy. And if I'm not happy, then what am I doing here? Like,
Yeah. You know, like, I've heard you talk about therapy as well. You've gone to therapy, and that's the one thing I learned myself in therapy, that, like, if you're not happy, the other side of that are the addictions. And hearing you talk about how you're being super authentic now, it's so great to see, because, and hear this, because I don't think your work has ever been listened to by more people. And this is kind of like, you were on such a great projection. And this seems like such a great place to be. And you've got here being you. and sharing your stories and being brave enough to share them with everyone else.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
that's
Really cool.
that's fantastic. Tell us a little bit about Lead Me.
Yeah, so Lead Me, it was written during a time that I was thinking a lot about addiction and obsession towards, substance or people. There's so many different things and ways that we can be addicted to things. But for me in particular, it was substance. And I was thinking a lot about that, and I was trying to take my power back. And so this song is sort of that fight in me. I'm in a better place now, but it's not like I'm, cured or anything.
I unfortunately as well dealt with addiction in my life. My father passed away due to addiction. No, it's okay. I've been addicted to, I was in an accident. I got addicted to opioids after that. And listening to you sing about addiction in such a way, from the perspective of someone that truly felt it was comforting, right? It was comforting to hear. And again, so much openness from you. And you keep talking, I've heard you say this in other interviews about how it healed you to sing about this. How does that process work? Like, for me personally, I can only speak from my perspective. It feels like when I talk about these things, I open up these wounds, right? And it hurts. And from hearing your music and listening to you in interviews, you truly seem healed by this process. What in that process provides that healing for you?
I think that every time I go to write, not only do I learn more about myself and how I'm truly feeling, so that I can deal with that, so I can get to the depth of something. Like, if we don't sit with our shadows, if we don't go into how we are truly feeling and we go into that darkness, we can't know. We can't just keep like shoving it down. We really have to sit with ourselves before any healing can happen. So when I do music, like when I write music about anything that I'm going through, it's a way for me to see myself, know myself, understand the depths of how I'm feeling. And it's a release. I'll be writing and I'll just be like crying, and it's crazy, but it really does get to like different parts of, like, I can feel different parts of my body like lighting up, and I don't know how to really express it.
Yeah, no, listen, like when I was in my addiction, I had substances to kind of comfort me. And then when you're on the other side of it, you can't lean on those substances anymore.
Yeah.
Now you're like, well, what do I do now? What is and
Totally.
the best way to deal with it is to finally find expression and the self-expression. You've done that so well on this album, and I think it's just so brave. Let's have a listen. Here's Lead Me by Jayli Wolf.
I'd give my heart up to you never kept everything inside myself. You know you're sexy, long-lost lover, made up of bone and pretty dust, but I won't let you leave me. I won't let you leave me. I won't let you leave me. shouldn't leave me.
This interview is happening on Truth or Reconciliation Day. First time Canada's done this. You are Indigenous, queer, and you're proud of your growth. What is today? What do you think? What are your thoughts on today? This being, a new holiday in Canada or a statutory holiday. What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are I don't want to have too much hope over this day. And that's maybe a little bit negative, but I just don't want to think like this is going to be some thing that's going to just change everything for the nation. I feel like we need to see action. So, I mean, obviously, like I could hope that today a lot more people than usual would sit down, meditate, and think on reconciliation and building these, beautiful relationships with Indigenous people. But I really hope that it's centered around like taking true action, making sure that, every community in this nation has clean drinking water, and, just we're really talking about real issues. And I just, I don't know. I don't want to hold out too much hope that this day is going to change everything like that. But
yeah, I also think it's important to note, and just to use my platform and to amplify this issue, that those issues are not what we're reflecting on today is not just in the past, that it is currently a gigantic issue that Indigenous community members are in courts right now fighting the Canadian government for many different reasons, and that it's still happening today, that there's not I mean, this is just my opinion, and I'm open to any interpretation of this, but I think it's important that we all reflect on today, but I also think it's important that we look forward as well to making sure that these issues are resolved, because there's so many of them. So many Indigenous children in Canada are living in poverty, and that continues, and there's water issues as well. And it's I'm really happy to be speaking with you today, but I just encourage anyone that's watching this to seek out Indigenous voices as well, and get educated on what's going down today as well, and how you can assist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just get educated and take action.
Talking to an artist, you've overcome so much, you've turned it into beautiful music, you've turned it into activism, and you have this wonderful outlook now, and you're sharing yourself with us and the world. Jayli, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.